This is the scene of Christchurch. It's Monday the 13th of April. First session up here of the year. It's done my first night. It's about 8:30 in the morning now, 8:45. I have to say, I'm absolutely gutted. I lost a fish this morning about 10 to 6. Left hand rod. Fishing a chard on the fluorocarbon. It's been changed. The other rod will be changed as well when I bring that one in. I had it in reasonably close, within 15 yards, after a right ball ache, having a strip off in my pants, getting the water, and then the bloody thing snapped around the knot. Little tip: don't be ignorant and keep your fluorocarbon on when you're fishing jigs, because it's weaker than mono. There's no stretch, and I've had that happen too many times to me. Not happy bunny. Couldn't say how big it was, but they all feel good when you lose them, don't they? Oh well, 2 more nights. I managed to bag one, which makes me feel a whole lot better. What a common. 27.4. That is about her. I'd be happy with that anyway. That is a real cracker.
It's a nice one.
It's a nice one. Yeah, I'm happy. A little bit at the other side because my arms are knackered, because it's giving me one hell of a fight. So, that's 2 nailed in Linch, 2 lost. Could mean the next one's a loser. Oh. Let's go this way round. Yeah, still a lot of leeches on them. What a perler. Christchurch Borough Gold. So dark. Right, a couple of photos up there. Now we go. Well, it's about 4:20, Tuesday the 14th of April. No joy last night. Well, obviously I had that common in the evening. Nothing for Chris next door, who's actually now not next door. And there's Bivvies further down. Him, and there's another one behind. Matey on the point lost one earlier on a zig. I stood right behind him when that happened. But, he had it banked as well. And he's off today. Here we are again. Same swim, different time. I'm in the entries on Linch Hill Christchurch. It's the 31st of May. Got here about sort of 10 o'clock this morning, moseyed up. Entries was free. Quite a few people packed down now, but I think it was a good move moving in here because quite a few fish have moved in at the same time. Pretty happy with how I got my rods. Got one at about 30 yards, not even that. Something around there. Yeah, around the area. And I got one aiming at that tree there, 57 yards. And the other one is aimed. Oh, you can see those reeds. It's basically aimed right on the end of those reeds, 72 yards. So at the moment that's on single, but I'll get some bully on it later, half a kilo. Fishing actually with 3 different rigs, 3 different types of approaches really. I wanted to bring some fish meals up, but ended up buying a couple kilo of hybrid mainline. See what they're all raving about, see if it works. So put an 18 miller just out of the bag, corked out, so it's literally actually popping up off the hair from the hook. I've got that on a blowback rig really. Nice length of 8 to 10 inches. Lead clip, so I can drop the lead if needs be, if not, you know, I'll keep the lead. Pretty happy with that approach. I will stack about half a kilo of bully on that rod later. The rod that's aiming at that tree over there at 57 yards has had 15 spawns put on top of it. Fishing that with like little tiny half a barrel tip with a very tip of a 10mm round pink fluoro pop up. So it's literally just capped the half a 10mm barrel, so it's a really tiny bait. I'm fishing it on fluorocarbon, so it just on a D-rig really, just so it resets itself. Reasonably short hook link because I'm fishing over the spawn, and I think they feed differently over it than the boilie. And like I say, that one I found a little spot. There's been a few fish crash down there, so I've catapulted a few baits down.
No.
Well, I don't know how well you can see this. It's coming into the second night. It was 9:30 when I bagged this one. 33.2 common. Happy days, my first 30 at Linch. And she is a pearler. I don't know how well you can see her. What's it looking like, Gareth?
Right, you want to turn around, it's the better side.
Yeah, the better side is the other side, so I shall I'll turn her around. Do it with the map. She's ready to spill a bit. She hasn't already spilled a little bit already, but she's certainly nothing coming out at the moment. Get that in there. Hey.
Cracker.
Yeah. Absolute cracker, well chuffed. You only come here to catch one nice one, and there it is. But the weather is looking pretty good for another bite, so it was G last time, it's me this time. Let's hope we can both bag another one. Happy days, 33.2. Right, let's put her back. Thank you very much. Well, it's Tuesday, 2nd of June. Obviously had that common last yesterday evening. It's about 9:30 in the evening. I had the pickup, and about 4:30 this morning, the middle rod, which I just put out on the same spot as the one the common I had, and literally 5-10 minutes after I put it out there, the left rod ripped. Obviously by the time I got the rod back out, it's pitch black. This morning when I looked at it, it was miles off this spot. But the middle one was on it. 4:30 this morning I had a rud. It must have been 2.5-3 pound. Hell of a size rud. Well, coming to the end of the session. Just packing up. No more action other than that common. Gareth didn't manage anything this time. The fish done a U-turn definitely yesterday. I didn't see anything up here. There was somebody obviously in that swim who blanked. Darren in that swim had 3 that I know of. 29 Lin, a 23 which is a stunner, and that 44-10 toe jam common. Matey has had 3 as well, 38 and a scraper 20 and another mid 20. But I don't think anything happened on their bank last night. And obviously Matey, who was in peg 3, blanked and he's gone. Now about just 11:30 last night, Colin, who's in the new dig, that's peg 1, you can see there, somebody's moved in there. I think it's the guy that was in peg 3's moved in peg 1. Anyway, Colin, who's around the corner in the new dig, definitely had one last night. And I heard his rod, I'm sure it was his again, rip off this morning. About, it must have been 6:30. So, I think the fish have done a U-turn. I think they're down the bottom end of the lake. Well, here we are again. Back up Linch. It is the 29th of June, I believe. Oh. Sorry, the 28th of June. Sunday the 28th. Got 3 nights ahead of me. Just got a bit of boilie, about half a kilo out there. Every time the pigeons disappear, or the seagulls rather, I get about 5 baits out there. I've been using the boilie rocket today. Boilie only approach. 2 different baits. One's a nice good fish meal. The other one's the mainline hybrid, which is what I had my last fish on out of here. I'm in peg 6, so it's a new peg for me. It's the one Gareth fished a couple trips ago. He had a 31.5 out of. Last time I was up here it pulled 3 fish whilst I was here. There's guys in 5, 4 and 3 down that way, which have all caught fish, and they're here till Tuesday. Gareth's dropped in the point, there's fish all over him, but there is somebody in the day only swim between us who's doing a night, but we've sort of okayed it. He didn't realise, but it hinders us a little bit, but it's only for 1 night. 3 nights ahead of me. Pretty confident. I haven't actually seen anything in front of me, but I'm confident. Right. Everything's set. Gotta be a cup of tea, innit? Here he is, look. He's only had his rods out about 2 hours. He's got one on already. Good old boy.
Do you want me to net or you're right?
Go on. Bring him over this way. There's a big weed bed there. He's alright. Nice fish that, mate. Mirror. That's a 30. Easy, easy. That's a cracker, mate.
Happy days.
I'll get the camera. Here he is then. What a belter. Well, she's coming at 32.4, but we got a minus the sling, so it's probably a scraper 30. But that is a pearler of a fish, look.
Cracker.
Yeah. Should we get a quick look at the other side? So here's the other side, look. Just get a picture of him. Have a look at that. What a belter.
Cracker.
I'll turn around and get one more picture with. Well, my first English 40, £44 2 ounces. Get in. My first 40 from Linch, my first UK 40, and I'm absolutely buzzing. I don't know what fish it is. It's very hard to tell. It could be the box common, that. It could be the box. I don't know. All I know is I'm well chuffed. Well, it's been out about 4 hours, maybe 5 at tops. Gareth's had a 28.5. I've come in with a 44 too. Absolutely buzzing with this. What a fish. What a fish. This is why we come to Linch Hill. Spend the money we do. So we come to catch fish like that. Wow. Words can't describe it. And I'll tell you, I'm getting tired. My arm's hurting. So I'm going to put her in the sack, get my breath back for a little while, get a couple more pictures. Banging. Well, it's the morning, well I say the morning, it's 10 to 1 now in the afternoon of Monday the 29th. Very quiet night. It was, the whole of this top end was quiet. After I had that fish yesterday, I think they'd done a U-turn and went down the bottom end. I heard the baby slate come out last night, about 35. But there doesn't seem to be an abundance of fish up here today. There's still a few fish, but they're not in the drones. So I can only hope they shall do another U-turn within the next 24 hours and come back again. But the weather forecast give it hot, and it is hot. And unfortunately tomorrow it gives it hotter, and the day after that it gives it even hotter. So although it's clouded over a bit now, it's a bit overcast, which is a bit better. It's very humid, very muggy. So you never know, there's a chance, but I don't think there's as many fish up here today as what there was yesterday. But They move around a lot in here. It's, you know, one minute they can be down the other end, the next minute, you know it, they're all over you like dolphins. And I have found chasing fish on here isn't necessarily the best approach. I think if you pick a few good swims that you really like and you can get in one of those swims every time, you do a 3-day session, I think it's well worth just sitting there on your hands for 3 days, because at some point I'm sure fish generally do come through you. Not all the time, but most of the time. And this bank seems to be the bank this year. Last year it was the far bank. This year it seems to be that this bank is pulling the majority of the fish. So not a lot to report. And not a lot showing. Cup of tea. It's just before 6 in the evening now. It's been an absolute roaster today. It's still very hot now. A lot of fish cruised back up in this area today. At one point in Gareth Swim I counted about 30 out in front of him. But the one showing cruising a bit further out. Not necessarily coming really close in tonight. But hopefully they'll go down later and have a little feed. There you go. You gotta laugh at that. Well, got a night to go. It's just gone 3:15, and it's Tuesday the 30th of June. Whether you can see those shapes in the water there, but it's absolutely roasting. About 2 hours ago it was 29.5, so for sure it's hit the 30 barrier by now. It gives it 35 tomorrow, which is hotter than Mexico. Needless to say, this wind has actually just switched round, but a lot of fish have come up here today, a lot more than yesterday, which hopefully if they stay up here there's a chance for, you know, a fish or two this evening. But I've resorted to stalking. I've got 2 rods laid on the bank there, just on some clear spots. I'll show you that in a minute. I'll see if you can see any fish in between these bushes, because they have been stacked up in here, but no guarantees. But oh yes, yes. I don't know whether you can see that, but there is quite a few fish in there. I don't think it makes that much difference, but there's loads of fish in there. Well, let's hope these fish go out and feed tonight. Because they do. I've rested the swim all day since I went down for breakfast. Since I've come back, there's a little day swim next to me. Just here. I'm in peg 6. This is peg 7. It's only a day swim. It's supposed to be for margins, which is what I'm doing. But, there's a couple of clear spots out there. You can see them just reflecting on the light. One would be there. Huh. I can't see them now. Basically, I've had carp coming in, but very hard to work. Can you just see the patches there? One there and one there. Got a rod on each one. A bit of fake pop top pellet on one, and just a critical boilie on another. Just over a few hours to boil in a bit of pellet, and the other one's obviously over a load of pellet. And they have sort of come in, and there's been a fish stick around and fed a little bit on the outside of it, but it didn't fully go for it. So, I don't know what you can see over there, but there's shapes everywhere. You can't really see. I've obviously got glasses on, so there's fish everywhere up here, which is good news. Hopefully they won't pile back down the bottom tonight, and we'll have a chance to get one throughout the night or in the morning. But, that's what I've resorted to until this evening. Sat on 2 patches, no more than 2 rod lengths out. I honestly believe that's about the only way you're going to get a bite, is in about 2 or 3 foot of water. Stacked up. There's a massive bit of weed just all around this area here. It's a huge bit of weed, and the fish are all just sort of stuck right around the outside of it. There's quite a few dotted around in the middle, but they love a bit of weed, don't they, the fish? Carpinos. Right, bye for now. Well, it's 8 o'clock last morning. Wind's got up a bit in the last 10 minutes. It gives an absolute squelcher today. I've got to say, I'm absolutely gutted. Last night I obviously was stalking yesterday, and I pulled off of the spots late last evening. Well, not late last evening, sort of about 6 o'clock. Got all my rods out on the spots where I was fishing in my swim, and here moseyed down there about 9 o'clock. Just as it was getting dusk, and I couldn't believe it. They were churning all over the bait where I, was stalking earlier in the day. So I had to come back and get a rod. So I come back and got a rod, put it down, sat there for about 40 minutes. All the churning had stopped. I'd pretty much give up, and it just ripped off. Rod ripped along the floor. Pretty vicious fight. It was a good fish. Eventually it plunged into a weed bed in front of me. There was fun and games for about half an hour there. When I thought I'd lost it, I then managed to get the fish back up, and it was battling away, and then it plunged straight back down in the weed again. Got me right down deep in the weed, and then I was pulling it back up. I was really having to give it some stick, to be honest. It was a brutal fight, but it was under a rod tip, and this all took an hour from when I hooked it, and eventually my line gave way and snapped. But I'm absolutely gutted, because I think it was a really good fish, and I just couldn't stop it. and I'm geared up pretty strong as well. So I'm absolutely gutted, to be fair. And nothing happened on the bottom last night. I haven't seen any fish out there, but they are back in there. So today I am going to give it another go. I have actually set the rod back up down there about an hour ago. And there's one or two lingering around there, and there's a few topping, so there's a chance, but not as good a chance as obviously the evening. They just seem to let their guard down. They come in there and they were just churning it right in front of the swim. Well, now the daylight's out and they can see everything's going on and the patch stands out like a sore thumb, it's not so easy. I'll give it a go. I think that's the only chance now. I think the rest of it's now over. So there we go. Right, obviously, since I lost one last night, I've managed to redeem myself just at the death. I've stalked one out underneath the tree, and it's a belter. £37 1 ounce mirror. Come on. As I was sat there gutted because it was a good fish. I think I lost, but that is made up for it. Look at the colours on that. Chestnut brown. Lovely starburst scale towards its end. Got a bit of a two-tone to it. This side. Just show you the other side. Show you it quickly. Right, so look at this. I've done the pictures. Get a bit lower if you can, mate. What a stunner. Don't have to go France for these things, you know. They're all here. Under your noses. Where are you going to catch a better looking fish? Where are you going to catch a better looking fish than that? She wants to flip again. Spanked it. Right, I think we've seen enough of her. I'm going to get some water pictures, and then we're going to pack up the rest of the gear and get back to sunny old Devon, which I'm told is getting the heat as well. Right. Happy days. If you could just hold her in the water whilst I get my waders up and off. We're just finishing off picturing mine. Gareth's just coming over to do some water shots. His rod's ripped off, but it's got him in there. So hopefully he'll come out, but it's not looking good, to be honest. Is he back in the reeds or in the weed? Right, I'm going to turn this off for a minute. I think that fish is a bit too big for you, boy. Mental. He's trying. They're nicking it off each other. Poor little fishy. Poor little fishy. Keep him going all day, I reckon. Stuff it's young. I'm having that one. It's too big for you, son. Well, this is the view of Christchurch. It is the morning of the 17th of August, Monday. Just done my first night out of 3. The latest trip. And I'm in the hot swim. I'm in a swim called the New Dig. It is probably the top swim on the lake. This doesn't mean to say it's going to produce all the time, but I've had a fair few fish out there, and just to show you, it is the bottom end of the lake. It's the last swim to the right hand side, but obviously there's a lot of weed out there. Now that swim opposite, 21, they're only actually allowed to fish 30 yards, but they can't really fish more than about 10. So, you know, I'm fishing all 3 rods, pretty much concentrated. From like the end, where that bird is there, the second one, that one there in play, that one. Fishing from behind that bird. All 3 rods on a very clear patch. Put about 5 kid bait, 2.5 kid boilie, 2.5 kid pellet. One fizzer about 7:05 towards the right hand rod, but birds been going down picking up bait, but they haven't been hammering me, so I don't know whether I've had fish coming in and out, I don't know. But there's certainly been a fair few fish down here. The liners I was getting yesterday night, I had to wait for the swim all day yesterday. It turned up fairly early. It's not particularly busy, there's only about 6 or 7 people on. It was busy yesterday, but everybody left. I pretty much had to pick. I thought for a change, stuff it. I'll hang it out, bucket this swim and wait. The guy said he was off in the afternoon. He disappeared at 4, so all the rods and everything really weren't set to about 7 at night, but yeah, I felt pretty confident I was going to get one last night. It was looking ripe for it. And some of the liners I actually thought I was getting runs. One of them took line. But, I'll probably wind in to find I've been absolutely done. Like, but, I think bite time is about from 6. We're about, what are we now? Coming up 5 to 8. Been up since 6. I think this swim is really starting to come into its own. I think it could fish during the day, this swim. It has the potential. Fishing over a bar or something. I would estimate about 6 to 7 foot in depth. Which is the only feature really I've ever been fishing to in this lake, so it's fairly clear on the top of it where I'm fishing, that area. I had a scat around, you know, down in there and everything, but it's very weedy everywhere else, which is why I opted for 3 rods really on the same spot. But it is a reasonable size spot. They're probably 15 yards apart, the right-hander and the left-hander. Just put a line of bait from the right to the left. Most of it was concentrated in the middle, so 2 rods on the outside, hopefully to pick them off, and if there's any greedy buggers, there's one on the main area. Still quite optimistic. I think, yeah, really good chance in this swim. I'm fishing on shallow water. I could pick one up off the bottom during the day. Certainly if the fish are in here like they were yesterday. Very good chance. Kind of wish I brought my surface gear this week. Didn't realise the weed would be up like that. And it is. You get a good chance of presenting your bait quite well. Some birds diving on me bait. And a good munch bite. Proper fizzers. Well, just coming into the second night. Monday the 17th of August. I'm feeling quite confident again tonight. Nothing happened last night, they all just disappeared out of here. There's 1 or 2 fish just starting to fizz right up around here. Unfortunately that's over thick weed. But where that fish has just moved is extremely close to my bait. 3 rods just around there. There's that other fizzer gone. There is definitely a feeding fish out there. Actually a few fish tonight. They're just showing closer to my bait, whereas last night they were all close in the air and coming through me. I was getting liner after liner. It just feels like I might get something. I will say I've got a stack of bait out there. I haven't been messing around. So if they do come in, I should have open for a little while. Been a nice common smashing in there all day, but they are just starting to come alive. They are starting to come alive. Oh. Do you know what? I was sat on that bloody position for ages then, waiting for a fish to top. Moved it off. Guess what happens? Bound to happen, isn't it? Didn't sound a very big one, that one. Right, I've lost patience. Well, that's 2 nights down, and these fish just ain't playing ball. We've got feeding fish out there. My rod's about there. Fish are feeding in line with that weed and just behind it, as you can see there. There is a fish, churning it right up in a jacuzzi style. But he's been ripping it right up. In a minute you'll get a jacuzzi of bubbles come up. As he smashes into the natural that's in there, obviously. That's what they're feeding on. Just move to there. That's all I want. Actually moved the rod just a minute ago behind the baited area. Pretty much where those little bubbles come up there. Well, I'm officially struggling. I think I'm going to see whether Nick has got any tiger nets in the shop. I'm going to stick half a kilo of tigers out over the bait. I've had a few fizzes on the baited area. I know they've fed on it a bit, but they haven't totally had it. Always when you get the camera out, they stop fizzing or jumping. It fizzed up about 4 times in a row. I thought, oh, I'll get the camera on that. That's proper fizzing. You know, get the camera on it, and it pretty much stopped. Brilliant. Yeah, what to do? I'm not going to move. Apparently there's a weather system coming in tomorrow, which would be the day I'm leaving, obviously. Might have to see whether I can get another night. If a weather system comes in, they do start feeding harder. Yeah, so nothing to report. Again. But we will keep trying. It's about half an hour on, and the fizzing started again. Look at that. You know, it's sickening because my bait is about there. They're just feeding on that natural and out of the way of my baited area. Change of approach tonight. I fished one rod up out the back and one off the side. Very close to that weed. And the end of it. My bait starts from about 1 metre or so off of it, in a line all the way along to that gap. But they've ignored it like the plague. Fed up all around it, and the sides, the back of it. That is sickening, isn't it? You know there's feeding fish out there, but you know they don't want what you've got to give them. Also, there's a bloody great weed bed in between me and that feeding fish, which I'm pretty sure the fish know. There's obviously something down there that they like, natural wise, so they keep smashing into it. Oh, there's definitely fish out there, and I've got a wasp on me. Tell you what, there's got to be a wasp's nest around here or something. There's that tree's the marker. There's definitely fish out there. Right, I'm going to wind in a minute, go for a toilet break, see if Nick's got any tigers, come back, and I think I might actually snitch one for the day, around the corner here, just in the corner. There's been fish smashing in there last night and all day yesterday. It is very, very weedy, but there's weed. I don't know if you can see the bottom of that actually. Yeah, I imagine it's very much like that on the bottom, so I could pretty much present a helicopter chod type rig over the top of it quite nicely on. So I'm going to flick a little chod in there, single today, and I'm going to slightly change my approach, but there are fish down here and there have been feeding fish everywhere but on my bait. They ain't stupid. Just the odd telltale sign that fish are moving in amongst that area. Not necessarily feeding bubbles. A lot of it's probably gas. But, you know, it could be fish milling in and around that weed on the bottom. Smacking the air pockets. I would say that's feeding. In a wee bit. Yeah. Certainly seems a lot more alive today. So much more bubbling and things going on. It's overcast, it's a lot cooler. How long can they resist that bait? Good old few hours of rain and I reckon they'll be on it. Right. Sound like a twat.
How did you zoom out?
Well, it's been a few days.
Hang on, let's get out. How did you zoom out of this fucking thing?
Top one. That's it. With me?
Yeah, that's better. Right.
Right. Oh. She's been good as gold up until you get the video out. Alright, here we have another Christchurch common. £28.10. Rain started, 10 minutes later the fish started. So, happy days. Hopefully there's a few more on the cards. I've extended my stay, I've got 4 nights instead of the 3. The missus has been kind and it's certainly paid off. So, lovely colours. Just turn this round, show you the other side. Pack. Beautiful. It's one of the many crackers in there. Well, another night to go in the weather like this. Good chance of another one. A big fat 40. Mental little pets. Right, thank you very much. That'll do me. Well, last morning of the extended 3-day trip, which ended up being 4. Had some good rain yesterday and throughout the night, but didn't produce any more other than that 28 common I had yesterday afternoon. Guy over there had one from his margin about an hour ago. Looked about mid-20, up at 20 maybe. I know Coxie up in peg 3 snapped up to one apparently. Looks like a deserted ship out here today, I've got to say. Not looking too lively. After all that rain I thought I might have produced another bite, but what to be. Does tend to start bubbling up about now in this swim, through to about 10, half 10, so I'll probably give it till then and then disperse. So, unless I get a lastminute.com fish, that's it till the next session.